We've got about 30 seconds before we go live. Good evening, everyone. This is the May 18th Hobbs City Commission meeting. We're being joined by the members of the commission. We also have some presenters this evening that will be part of the live streaming. I want to welcome everyone to the meeting this evening. As part of the COVID-19 state of emergency, public health emergency, there are some rules that we need to abide by as part of our live streaming. Let me read those before we call the meeting to order. To start the meeting, the chair should announce the names of those members of the public body participating remotely. I will do that with a roll call vote by Fletcher. All members of the public body participating remotely must identify themselves whenever they speak and must be clearly audible to the other members of the public body and to the public that's listening. If there is any time that I find that we have a suspension of audio or video, I will stop the meeting until we regain that, and then we'll restart the meeting. So with that, I'll call the meeting to order. Ms. Fletcher, please call the roll.
Mayor Sam Cobb.
Here.
Commissioner Marshall Newman, District 1.
Here.
Commissioner Chris Mills, Commissioner, District 2.
Here.
Commissioner Laren Fields, District 3.
Here.
Commissioner Joe Calderon, District 4.
Here.
Commissioner Dwayne Pinnick, District 5.
Commissioner Pinnick here.
Commissioner Don Girth, District 6.
Commissioner Girth here.
Thank you.
Commissioner Laren Fields, District 3, will lead us in an invocation, and then I will lead us in a pledge of allegiance.
Thank you, Mayor. Let us bow. Most gracious and loving Father, we come thanking you once again for this beautiful and wonderful day. We thank you, Lord, for just you being our provider, our help in times of need. As we come together with our minds coming on one accord, thinking of those things that's best pertaining to this great city of Hobbs. We ask that you guide our thoughts and guide us as we navigate our way through this COVID-19 and all that is going on around us. Help us, oh God. And just ask that you bless our city, bless all of those that dwell within. We just ask these blessings and more. In your Son, Jesus' name, I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice and all.
Again, thank you. First order of business this evening is to inform the public that there was a closed session by the City Commission and some of the city staff. Discussion of the purchase, acquisition, or disposal of real property specifically related to the disposal of city-owned real property located northeast of the intersection of Texas and Del Paso streets. No decisions were made in the closed session. With that, second item of business is approval of minutes of the May 4th, 2020 regular commission meeting. May I have a motion for approval?
Commissioner Calderon, so move. District 4.
We have a motion by
Commissioner Newman, second.
We have a second by Commissioner Newman of District 1. I'll do a roll call vote. District 1, Mr. Newman, how do you vote?
Commissioner Newman, yes.
District 2, Commissioner Mills, how do you vote?
Commissioner Mills, yes.
District 3, Commissioner Fields, how do you vote?
Commissioner Fields, yes.
District 4, Commissioner Calderon, how do you vote?
Commissioner Calderon, yes.
District 5, Commissioner Pinnick, how do you vote?
Commissioner Pinnick, I vote yes.
And District 6, Commissioner Girth, how do you vote?
Commissioner Girth votes yes.
And I vote yes. The next item is proclamations and awards of merit. Item number 2 is recognition of city employees, milestone service awards for the month of May 2020. Mr. Manny Gomez, our acting city manager and fire chief.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commissioner, staff members of the public, and good evening to all of us, all those that are joining us this evening. Tonight, I want to recognize for May 2020 honorees 2 employees, and I want to extend and express the city's appreciation for a total of 15 years of dedicated service. Both who contribute so vitally to our organization and city year after year, and a very special thanks to their families for their sacrifice. Our first employee is come from us from the traffic department, has reached his 5-year milestone. Mr. Henley has some history with the city of Hobbs and originally served with the Hobbs Fire Department from 1991 to 1994 as a firefighter EMT. And I had the pleasure to work on SHIELD with Mr. Gary Henley during that 3-4 years that he was with the Hobbs Fire Department. In May of 2015, he rejoined the City of Hobbs Traffic Department and has obtained the following certifications: Certified Traffic Signal Field Tech Level 2, Pavement Markings Level 1, Temporary Traffic Control Technician, and Gary will be taking this Traffic Signal Level 3 certification, which is the highest level available to better serve the traffic department in the city of Hobbs. We do appreciate Gary, and I'm glad that he has decided to come back to the city of Hobbs. Our next employee, reaching his 10th year milestone, Mr. Bill Griffin with the Wastewater Treatment Plant. His knowledge and professionalism in the field of wastewater treatment has been recognized, as you well know, by the state of New Mexico as a recipient of the Max Summerlot Award, and is in a national magazine article to be published by the Treatment Plant Operator magazine in August of 2020. Bill possesses excellent leadership, managerial, and supervisory skills, and he's highly motivated to accomplish goals in a timely manner. And usually is identified as, in the absence of our department head, Tim Moomer, as to fill in that role throughout Tim's absence. Bill completed the successful construction and commissioning of the new $11 million aerobic digester system at the Wastewater Reclamation Facility this past year. And despite the many challenges presented this year, Bill has managed his areas of responsibility at a high level and continues to keep the citizens of Hobbs safe and secure with high-quality waste treatment and recycling. So on behalf of the city of Hobbs, we thank both of our employees, and again, Mayor, Commission, and members of the public, thank you for the opportunity.
The next item on the agenda is item number 3, a proclamation proclaiming the week of May 17th to 23rd, 2020 as Emergency Medical Services Week, with the theme EMS Strong, Ready Today, Preparing for Tomorrow. Mr. Gomez.
Again, Mayor, the proclamation is there. I don't know if you want to read that first, but I'll proceed with thanking our EMS professionals that are on the front line each and every day. And the result, this year's campaign will focus on recognizing the selfless calling that makes EMS, which is emergency medical service, so vital to our community and many communities throughout the nation. The 2020 EMS Week theme is Ready Today, Preparing for Tomorrow. And this theme was developed long before the COVID-19 crisis. It is particularly meaningful now as we see the EMS community rallying to continue to support those affected by the crisis, all while still responding to the everyday emergencies such as that continue to occur in their communities, all while dealing with challenges such as the lack of access at times to appropriate PPE. We're very fortunate here in Hobbs not to have that issue at the current time, and fellow workers who are stricken with this virus. And although you may not know, we've been very fortunate not to have had a positive within. However, we have had several of our EMS employees under quarantine due to close contact to those that have been identified as positive. So
Man,
it is.
Excuse me. I lost video, but I've got it back. Never mind. Thank you.
Okay. So it is important that we honor and celebrate our EMS professionals who are supporting the health and well-being of our community and our nation. So again, thank you for the proclamation. We have items throughout the week that we schedule due to COVID-19. We normally open our firehouses to blood pressure checks and so on and so forth. But we'll continue that by appointment only. Thank you, Mayor.
With that, it is an honor for me to issue this proclamation this evening. Whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service, and whereas the members of emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and whereas the Hobbs Fire Department responded to over 7,884 EMS calls in 2019, and whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury, and whereas emergency medical services has grown to fill a gap by providing important out-of-hospital care, including preventative medicine, follow-up care, and access to telemedicine. Whereas the emergency medical services system consists of first responders, emergency medical technicians, paramedic, emergency medical dispatchers, firefighters, educators, administrators, pre-hospital nurses, emergency physicians, trained members of the public, and other out-of-hospital care providers. And whereas the members of emergency medical services teams, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of emergency medical service providers by designating Emergency Medical Services Week. Now, therefore, I, Sam D. Cobb, Mayor of the City of Hobbs, do hereby proclaim the week of May 17th to 23rd, 2020 as Emergency Medical Services Week with the theme, EMS Strong, Ready Today, Preparing for Tomorrow, and encourage the community to observe this week with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. And to each and every one of you, we are very proud to have you in part of our community.
Thank you.
The next proclamation is proclaiming Monday, May 18th, 2020 as Hobbs High School Class of 2020 Light Up the Night. And Manny, I would like for you to give the public and the commission what's going on with that.
Well, again, as you may mention, the Light Up the Night, obviously this is to recognize our Hobbs High School Class of 2020. And tonight, our part as far as the community is one, the proclamation, but also between 7 and 10, they're planning on lighting up Watson Memorial Stadium, the Veterans Memorial Complex. The Corps will have also the billboard, or rather the Jumbotron above the competition pool lit up and showcasing the 600 graduates for the Hobbs Municipal Schools. You'll also see electronic messages on billboards throughout our community, and we're highly encouraged as residents to turn on that porch light and patio light, again, to recognize our Hobbs graduates. Again, it's an unprecedented time and for our youth, those that are graduating high school, college. It's a time that it's a different path for them. So we want to be able to partner with our Hobbs Municipal Schools to recognize our most valuable contributor to our community, and that's our youth. So I do know that our superintendent, TJ, had sent a nice email, and if you would like, Mayor, to read that, that would probably be something that would be pretty much appreciated by our community.
I will do that as well, but first of all, I'm going to ask some of our commissioners. I know they have family and friends that may be graduating, so any of you who have any comments, please announce yourself.
Commissioner Fields, I just want to say that I am so proud and so happy for them. Like I said, I'm fortunate that this COVID-19 has interrupted the normal ceremony that will be conducted. But I think it's great that the city of Hobbs will all participating with Hobbs Municipal Schools and helping them celebrate and being an employee for the Hobbs Municipal Schools and knowing a lot of those kids. I just wish the best for them. Many of you know I have a passion kids, and I just wish the best for the graduates of 2020.
Any other comments?
Mr. Mayor, I received several telephone calls and contacts.
This is Mr. Newman.
Yes.
Just please announce yourself.
Okay, Commissioner Newman. I received several calls and comments from citizens. Wanted to thank the city employees for their participation in helping hang the pictures around town of the seniors, and just want to pass that along.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioner Calderon here, as a school board member, I just want to thank the city for participating and partnering with the Hobbs schools. That's it.
Commissioner Pinnock, if I may, I was going to save it for the end, but I'd like to congratulate the 2020 graduates. I know this is a hard time, and you're missing out on a lot with your graduation and with your celebration at the end of your efforts of 12 years of hard work. And you're our future doctors, our future construction workers, lawyers, business owners, city leaders, and we wish you well. Take care of yourselves and each other. Thank you.
No further comments. I will read the following proclamation. Whereas the Hobbs High School 2020 academic year has been suspended due to global coronavirus pandemic, and whereas family, friends, and educators encourage everyone to focus on the ability of young people to honor their hard work. Excuse me. Whereas Hobbs High School seniors have contributed greatly to our community, and whereas the City of Hobbs wishes to honor the Hobbs High School graduating class of 2020. Whereas during this generational challenge, our students represent a bright future and will continue along a path of service and leadership in our community. And whereas we encourage all citizens to support opportunities for our graduating seniors and our community, including military service, higher education, trades, and employment. Whereas the City of Hobbs recognizes the achievements of the graduating members of the class of 2020 and offer our heartfelt congratulations. Now, therefore, I, Sam D. Cobb, Mayor of the City of Hobbs, do hereby proclaim May 18th, 2020 as Hobbs High School Class of 2020 Day, Light Up the Night, and hereby encourage a temporary variance to the time requirement related to display of electronic messages on billboards, and further encourage all Hobbs residents to turn on their porch lights this evening in honor of the Hobbs High School Class of 2020 and their bright future. And with that, we all had one public comment this evening. It was an email that came from T.J. Parks, our superintendent of schools, and I will read the following. Thank you. Hobbs Municipal Schools is very appreciative of the City of Hobbs for your unending support of our staff and students. The resolution for our 2020 seniors, the CTE facility, hanging the senior banners across the town, as well as the multitude of shared services our community receives because of the partnership between the City of Hobbs and Hobbs Municipal Schools, makes Hobbs a great place to live. The City of Hobbs once again steps up to show the community their tax dollars are used to provide resources that we can all be proud of. Your leadership does not go unnoticed. These are difficult and unprecedented times, but your guidance takes some of the sting out of the current situation. Thanks for all you do. Hobbs is blessed to have a visionary mayor, hardworking city manager, and dedicated commission. Please contact me if you have any questions or comments, Mr. T.J. Parks, Superintendent of Schools, and we'll enter that into the record this evening as well. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. It is approved by a single motion. Any member of the commission may request an item to be transferred to the regular agenda from the consent agenda without discussion or vote. Item number 5 is resolution number 6937, authorizing submission of the Fire Prevention and Safety Grant to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. And with that, I would ask a motion to approve item number 5, resolution number 6937.
Commissioner Newman, move to approve.
We have a motion by Mr. Newman to approve. May I have a second?
Commissioner Pinnock, I second.
We have a second by Mr. Pinnock. I will ask for a roll call vote. Commissioner Newman, District 1, how do you vote?
Commissioner Newman, yes.
Commissioner Mills, District 2, how do you vote?
Commissioner Mills, yes.
Commissioner Fields, District 3, how do you vote?
Commissioner Fields, I vote yes.
Commissioner Calderon, District 4, how do you vote?
Commissioner Calderon, yes.
Commissioner Pinnock, District 5, how do you vote?
Commissioner Pinnock, I vote yes.
And Commissioner Girth, District 6, how do you vote?
Commissioner Girk votes yes.
And I vote yes. The next item is discussion for fiscal 2021 funding request by the Economic Development Organization and the marketing entities, exempt industries under our Hobbs Municipal Code 3.25.030. And first up this evening for discussion is Miss Missy Currier with the Economic Development Department of Lee County. Welcome, Missy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and to all of the commissioners for allowing the Economic Development Corporation of Lee County to present to all of you tonight. We appreciate the time and we appreciate all that you're doing for the community. First and foremost, I wanted to highlight the work that the EDC has been able to do in the past year and then look forward to what we can bring to you going forward. On behalf, my name again is Missy Currier, and I am the President and CEO of the Economic Development Corporation of Lee County. And on behalf of my board, I'm very proud to help lead a staff of a total of 5 of us. You are a very small staff, but we consider ourselves pretty mighty, especially when it comes to the opportunities that we're able to bring to Lee County, as well as bring to the city of Hobbs. In the past year, we've been very fortunate to work on several opportunities that have ranged in the helping to recruit along with the city, opportunities like Covenant Hospital, looking at opportunities for Holtec, looking at opportunities for Eden radioactive isotopes, and several other projects that help diversify our economic base throughout the community. We've also been able to help with quality of life initiatives like the CTE school, which we're very grateful for because we know that that will be an incredible opportunity for our economic development opportunities. We've also been able to work on entities such as Fly Hobbs to help promote other areas in the region to come into the area as we provide even more quality of life to the residents that live here. We've been fortunate to focus on over 100 business recruitment and expansion opportunities. And when we talk about those BREs, what we do is we go out into the community and talk to businesses about what their struggles are, about how we can help, about ways that they will stay in our community and build their business. There are several things that the EDC of Lee County does. Of course, we go out and we recruit opportunities to come to Lee County and to the city of Hobbs, but sometimes, even more importantly, we work to keep our businesses here and help them to keep growing. It's an interesting time for all of us, and that twofold opportunity for us is one that we're very proud to be a part of. We're able to not only bring in the new businesses, but we also make sure that our businesses here are trying to stay as sustainable and as long-term as possible. As you guys know, Hobbs, more than anyone, has been hit by an incredible 1-2 punch due to the virus, as well as the hit to the oil and gas industry. Unfortunately, economic development is not an overnight opportunity. I really wish that we could wake up tomorrow and have new businesses in this community. And I promise it's something that we work toward every day. But while we can't make economic development happen overnight, I assure you that the City of Hobbs' continued investment in the Economic Development Corporation of Lee County is an investment not only in the city, but on our economic vitality going forward. And I hope if you do decide to fund us going forward that you will consider us an actual investment. We are looking right now at our strategic plan, and we are looking right now to bring in so many of you guys and the rest of our community stakeholders to say, yes, our economic base has been incredibly strong, but we also know our community is facing tough times, and we want to work to increase and promote the economic opportunities that are provided to us throughout the city of Hobbs and throughout all of Lee County. We are looking to pivot our strategy to continue to diversify our base while bringing high quality, high paying jobs to the region. Opportunities that we might consider could include data centers, could also include value added agriculture, and many other opportunities that our wonderful community can bring. I don't want to take up too much of your time, and I certainly understand if you guys have questions, but just to reiterate our request that is in front of all of you, we do have the same PSA request that we had in previous years for $200,000, as well as special projects for $50,000. We understand that in times like this is a large investment, but we also ensure that the quality of work that we will bring to all of you and the citizens and residents of the city of Hobbs will be an investment in our future, not only now, but as we go forward into developing our economic base even further. Thank you for your consideration of our ask, and we look forward to continuing to serve the city of Hobbs if you all see fit. Thank you for the opportunity, and please let me know if you have questions.
Thank you, Missy. Yes, if any of the commissioners have any questions or comments, please announce yourself and state so. With that, yeah, for your presentation, excellent.
Thank you.
And she and Manny and some of the other folks on the EDC board, he's put together some meetings with some of our universities in the region. We're working on a lot of different ideas, sometimes out of adversity, opportunities for themselves, and that's our motto. That's what we're working on. So, thank you very much. The next presenter will be the Hobbs Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Patty Coppins.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and commissioners and staff. Thank you for this opportunity to present to you this evening, and I hope everybody is doing well right now. The Hobbs Chamber of Commerce, of course, is presenting you with a request for funding in the amount of $75,000. That $75,000 has been the same since 2013, our request. And actually, I was trying to do some research as to why we went from $90,000 in 2012 to the $75,000, but I wasn't able to find that. And maybe since Mr. Gomez was on the chamber board at that time and also part of the city, he may have some history for me that he could share after the meeting. We are requesting of that $17,500 to promote our local shopping. And as you know, right now, that is very important to our community. We reactivated our Facebook page, which is a Shop Local page. It's Shop Hobbs, Shop Local. And we have had a wonderful response to that. We have a lot of our local businesses posting on there that they are opening back up. And we are also trying to share those on our main chamber page until we get people transitioned over to the new Facebook page. We also try to do a lot of advertising locally with our newspaper, the radio stations, things like that. So all of that money, that $17,500, is turned around back into the community, but the chamber does not use that for any of our salaries or overhead. And then we are asking for $17,500, which is the same thing. We turn that money around and do not hang on to any of it. And it is to promote job openings for our local businesses. We do weekly advertising in our local paper and with all of our local radio stations, including one in Lovington. And anybody that has a job opening, they're more than welcome to get that information to us, and then we turn it over to those news media so that they can help us promote those. We also promote those on our chamber page. We promote those on our Hobbs Chamber of Commerce website, and then any other place that we can find that might be useful to people. And we, as you know, right now, we've had a lot of people try to join that looking for a job. But those people trying to hire people are very few, and we're able to share those. So hopefully we're able to help people get jobs. Then we are requesting $30,000 for our welcome services. And as you know, for decades, the Hobbs Chamber of Commerce has been the local tourist and information center. We have mailed out in the past year, and I'm sad to say, since March 18th, we were determined as a non-essential business. So we've been trying to work from home and haven't been able to mail out those packets, but we do have a list to mail out the packets. Up until that point, we mailed out over 300 relocation and tourist information packets. We've also provided over 300 of those packets to local businesses such as Hobbs Schools, USW, Lee Regional Medical Center, Norley, and places like that. Those, and Urenco, of course. They come to us every year. So we've produced over 600 of those have been turned around to local businesses. And then we asked for $10,000 to be used by the chamber to help cover our staff and other related overhead. So that amount, like I said, is turned over back into the community, and we do not use that for our staffing purposes. Since the March 18th day, when we had to close our offices, our staff was able to continue to work from home, and they were able to field 90 calls from our local businesses. And then we had over 267 emails come in of local businesses and tourists and things like that, of people that wanted information about what was going on in Hobbs. As the chamber executive, I was able to participate weekly in telephone calls with different staff members of the governor's task team. And I know, Mayor Cobb, you sat on one of those task force, and we do appreciate you doing that. And speaking up for Hobbs, we have been able to visit with some of our congressional delegation, which has been a huge benefit to us. And we've tried very hard to share all that information that we gather and pass that on to our local businesses. And just last week, I had two of our local businesses, the small mom and pop type businesses who had to close down, and they were eligible for the unemployment that was opened up to those small businesses that had to close their doors. So I know for a fact two of them did receive that unemployment check. So that's going to be wonderful for them to be able to pay their electric bill and things like that. So I am open to any questions that anybody may have. I know most of you have been around and know what the chamber has been doing with your money, and we hope that we're doing you proud. And Mr. Fields, welcome to the commission. I haven't had the opportunity to welcome you. It's good to see you. Thank you, Mayor.
Any questions or comments from the commission?
Yes, the Commissioner Peg, District 5. Patty, what was the increase from last year's request?
We did not ask for an increase.
Okay.
And we have not had an increase since 2013.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Patty.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? There being none, we'll move to the Hobbs Spinal Chamber of Commerce. It has Jessica Olivas up there, but I don't think that's who it is. Who's going to present for the Hispano Chamber? I have two intelligent young women there.
Hey, hello, good afternoon. I'm Rachel Moon, the Vice President.
And I am Danielle Hernandez, and I'm one of the board of directors.
And we also do have Jessica with us in the
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I'm not getting the photo of them.
Is it on?
No. Have you checked your split screen?
Yes, I've still got Missy from,
Well, if you look at two girls, you cut Chris Mills out and put them up.
Commissioner Newman, try swiping your screen to the left.
Commissioner Pinnock,
Yes, sir.
get out of town.
Oh, okay.
Do you have their picture now, Marshall?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
You bet. Proceed, ladies.
All right, so we actually created a PowerPoint, and I am going to share it here with you. Can y'all see it?
Yes.
Okay, so I would like to start with our mission. Our mission is to support and the development and growth of small businesses and provide guidelines to potential entrepreneurs that want to establish their businesses in our community. We offer opportunities for this business to develop, grow, and thrive. We also bring the importance of the Hispanic culture to the forefront of American consciousness to explore its rich legacy and the impact it has made on the people in our community. We currently have 9 board of directors, our president being Susana Arvesu.
So, as everybody else, you know, we had our events scheduled, and some are postponed, such as our Fiesta de Salud, which is our annual health fair. I know most of you are very familiar. This would be our 13th annual Fiesta. We usually have about 20 organizations that assist us in providing wellness checkups and also medical services as blood pressure readings, glucose screenings, cholesterol checkups, as well as eye exam. The previous years, we have served over 200 community members as well. You know, our support, we also have support from our local well-known soy burger company. They were able to provide a free lunch to all that joined and were able to come out. That means kiddos, our elderly, and such, and that always brings out a big crowd, as well as they're coming out, getting screened. They're able to reach out to other nonprofits that are available and get a good, healthy meal as well. And they also were educated on physical education and food as well. So currently, we're just postponing it, and we're looking at later this year to still have this event. It's like I mentioned, it's such a strong event in our community that everybody does look forward to it, and so we are looking forward to still having it this year as well. Our next event, unfortunately, the Fiestas de Septiembre has been canceled. This is really hard to be able to have to do this, but not knowing where we're going to be in September is a big factor. This event is large. It's held downtown and Ship area, so we're looking forward to 2021 to come out even stronger with the Fiestas de Septiembre. Our next popular event, of course, is our Mariachi Christmas. It's scheduled for December. We are looking forward to this event as well with the foundation. To hosting this, it also helps with bring people into town, and also helps with our kids, bring them out to witness the Mariachi Christmas. Approximately over 300 elementary students attend, and so it's something great to look forward to. Also, last year was our first Dia del Niño festival that was held downtown on Ship Street. It was a huge success. We had food vendors, community booth, nonprofits that came out, as well as games, and we had laser, a light show, as well as we had a huge amount of bikes that were given out to our kiddos. As you can tell for some of the pictures, it was such a large event, and it was received well by the community that we look forward to having it again this year, and then serving a greater impact for the community and also for the kids as well. Next, we're going to talk a little about our Pan Dulces. We're going strong, and Danielle is going to take over for a minute.
Okay, so Pan Dulce de Cafe is a networking event. It's a monthly event for our community and business members. It's an opportunity to promote their business, network with the community, and it is booked all year round. So since we cannot do this, we started a new program, which is called Local Supporting Local. And it is where we go to different local businesses, they donate, and then we raffle it off to people in our community, and then they get to shop locally. So that's what we're doing for that. And then you want to talk about our annual banquet?
Sure. So we're still on I'm super excited for our annual banquet that's going to be held September 10th, not on a homecoming a game night. So I'm a Thursday as well. So we're still in line with our speaker that's not only educational, but has a great story backing behind it. This annual event, which has been attended by most of our commissioners, as well as our mayor and city manager. This has gone on for over 10 years. The chamber has acknowledged and recognized local entrepreneurs for their contributions to our community and economy, which helps make Hobbs a better place to live. Again, we are scheduled for September 10th on a Thursday, and we are hoping that we will be able to have this event and serve you guys some great Mexican authentic food as well.
So we have currently been in collaboration and done ribbon cuttings with surrounding chambers of commerce, the city of Hobbs, Lee County, the Maddox Foundation, and other local nonprofits, as well as other organizations with community events and more. Our vision as we move forward, our goals of being a service organization will promote and provide business resources. The Hobbs Hispano Chamber of Commerce will inspire our members to be the best they can be. We will encourage in sustainable practices and anticipate the needs of our members. Our vision is to bring awareness, innovation, and advancement to the Hispanic entrepreneur. We will engage our community and honor our cultural heritage.
So, Rachel Moon again. With that being said, we're going to continue to serve our business community. As you if you've been able to, you can go on our social media site, and we're on there. Our girls are on there daily. All our board members are constantly trying to figure out ways to reach our businesses, especially, everyone's at a different place. Every business is either hurting or they're doing well, or they're, just trying to figure out ways they can volunteer to help if they can't do so with a monetary amount or a gift. So we're constantly reaching out to those businesses and hitting them all of them to be sure that their hours are being released, their days, what they're offering, because we do want the vision of local, supporting local to be announced and be stronger out there. So with that being said, we thank you guys, the commission, the mayor, city manager, for your support and the continued support that we've had all through these years, and that especially you guys coming to our events. We're requesting the amount of $64,000. That is not an increase. That is the same as last year as well. And so, as everybody else has that's presented has mentioned, we are looking ways. There's a lot of unknown. We don't know what's going to lie ahead for our events or our business owners. But we are doing everything we can to adapt and be right there with them to show visibility and say, hey, we're in this with you and we're going to help figure this out. So we're confident that we are going to continue strong, actually even stronger as the months lie ahead. And so we appreciate your support, and we're just thankful. So, and we stand for any questions.
Questions or comments from the commission? You did a great job. No questions. Great job, girls. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next item is item number 7, resolution number 6938, adopting a preliminary budget for fiscal year 2020-2021. Toby Spears, our finance.
Alex, stop the video.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. Before you is the adoption of the preliminary budget. We had a PowerPoint presentation on May 4th, just kind of detailing out the overall projections. We stated that it'd be around a 4-month, snapshot. Going conservative a little bit on the budget preps. We did have some more feedback or some more data come in on May 15th. We had our gross receipts tax check that was for the March 31st, from March 1 to March 31, and we knew the COVID and kind of the date on that was around March 18th. So looking at the gross receipts tax check, we had anticipated $3.5 million to $4 million, and the GRT check came in around $5 million unrestricted, 5.4 total. A part of that was our quarterly filers that came in, so that pushed our projection around $60 million. So we have to hit around $2.6 to $2.8 million for April to meet our projected target with this preliminary budget. Again, that would put us within $400,000 to $400,000 of our anticipated cash, what we anticipate at June 30th. So I thought I'd share that information with the public. So like I said, we did have 18 days worth of gross receipts tax, and plus the quarterlies. A lot of companies file from January to March 31. That probably offsets the month to month. Getting into the overall preliminary budget, there has been no changes on this. With an approval tonight, we'll upload this into the DFA's portal. So we at least have a stopgap funding from July 1 till we can get the bank recs provided, and then the cash balances and any kind of carryovers and reanalysis of some of the carryovers, and possibly some more see how our data is going to go. Right now, the budget is setting at a 41% operating reserve for the general fund. Our overall budget, we're looking at $114 million in expenditures, with around $100 million of revenue. So we had talked about $1 million, about $12 million. So I'd be happy to answer any questions. This detailed budget is on the City of Hobbs website, the flip book, which is about a 200-page document that details out departments and their justifications and their overall budget scope. So I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions or comments from the commission?
Yes, Commissioner Pinnock, District 5. Toby, I would like to ask you, is it correct that we're down about 39% in GRT revenues? And if I am correct on that, can you give us a number of what that might come to?
Yeah, that we looked at going from about a 62.6 million to about 37 million in the upcoming year. That's roughly 39% overall, which is around $24 million. From 62 million down to 37.8 million. Again, a favorable variance from a month to month would push that projection, possibly down to 30, 35, 30. It just depends, from a quarter to quarter basis. This is a 4-month look-see with the unstableness going on. So,
thank you, Toby. I just wanted to bring that to attention. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chris.
I'd note today, I was reading in the Albuquerque Journal, the city of Santa Fe is projecting a $46 million shortfall for the rest of the year and a $100 million shortfall for next year. And they're, similarly situated to us. So, I'd point out that, Toby and Finances just did a fantastic job of keeping us in the black.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's a lot of other efforts than just me. And there's department heads and just kind of the mentality of cash only in projects and not necessarily bonding out. Santa Fe has a lot of they depend on like the opera and a lot of their social gatherings for tourist dollars that come into that community. So we do have this 3/12 that we've been doing for a while, and 3/12 operating reserve. DFA requires a 1/12 operating reserve. We've always been traditionally, budgeting at a 3/12 and looking at cash only projects in some instances and not necessarily putting the money aside for those projects and not necessarily debting for future projects and anticipating that you're going to get revenue to pay that debt. That's just a bad combination in government sometimes.
Any other comments from the commission? There being none, I will ask for resolution number to approve resolution number 6938.
Commissioner Calderon, so moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Calderon. May I have a second?
Commissioner Newman, second.
We have a second by Mr. Newman. I will call for a roll call vote. Commissioner Newman, District 1, how do you vote?
Commissioner Newman, yes.
Commissioner Mills, District 2, how do you vote?
Commissioner Mills, yes.
Commissioner Fields, District 3, how do you vote?
Commissioner Fields,
Say that again, please. You broke up.
I vote yes.
Commissioner Calderon, District 4.
Commissioner Calderon, yes.
Commissioner Pinnock, District 5.
Commissioner Pinnock, I vote yes.
And Commissioner Girth, District 6.
Commissioner Girth, vote yes.
And I vote. All right, the resolution does pass. Next item, number 8, resolution number 6939, authorizing fiscal year 2021 funding appropriations to various social service agencies. The Social Service Agency Committee this year comprised of Laren Fields, Commissioner Fields, Commissioner Girth, and myself. Our decision was to keep the funding levels intact of the social service agencies that we had funded last year at those same levels. We had a couple of the entities that actually requested less money. Ordinance number 1086 caps our funding at $400,000. The committee's recommendation to fund the social services in the amount of $389,000. These appropriations are budgeted under the budget that Mr. Spears just presented to us. So with that, any comments from Commissioner Girth or Commissioner Fields?
No.
No, sir.
Okay. With that, I'll ask for a motion to approve resolution number 6939.
I'll make a motion.
Also move.
I have a motion by Mr. Fields to adopt resolution number 6939. May I have a second?
Commissioner Girth, second.
I have a second by Commissioner Girth. I'll ask for a roll call vote again. Commissioner Newman, District 1, how do you vote?
Commissioner Newman, yes.
Commissioner Mills, District 2, how do you vote?
Commissioner Mills, yes.
Commissioner Fields, District 3, how do you vote?
Commissioner Fields, I vote yes.
Commissioner Calderon of District 4, how do you vote?
Commissioner Calderon, yes.
Commissioner Pinnick of District 5, how do you vote?
Commissioner Pinnick, I vote yes.
And Commissioner Girth of District 6, how do you vote?
Commissioner Girth votes yes.
And I vote yes. Next item is item number 9, resolution number 6940, approving a development agreement with Aljo LLC for market rate family housing in the amount of $200,000. Mr. Kevin Robinson, our planning department.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, Commission. This is a development agreement for Aljo LLC. This would be their third development agreement. The previous development agreement has been utilized in excess of 75%. And as per resolution number 6810, they are now allowed to receive another development agreement. The ratification of this development agreement does negate or nullify all of the other past development agreements. So a developer is only allowed to have a development agreement at any one time. This is for an amount of $200,000 and is for the reimbursement of public infrastructures adjacent to the property being developed upon issuance of a CO. Here again, it reimburses those things like the asphalt, curb and gutter, sidewalk, water, sewer, all of those public infrastructures. And with that, I'll stand for any questions.
Any questions of the commission?
Mr. Robinson, what's the location on this one?
This is Aljo is developing those properties that are located northwest of the intersection of East Bender and Ranchland Road. It is located in the Tanglewood Unit 1, 2, and 3 subdivisions.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, Unit 1 or Tanglewood Unit 1 is already developed out, so 2 and 3.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
And all of those homes that have been built are occupied, correct?
Yes, sir. They are. Here again, they're at the various stages. We don't release our investment, our reimbursement until after a certificate of occupancy is issued. Now, here again, we may have a certificate of occupancy issued one day, and then it takes 2 weeks before the moving van comes in and they move in. But nonetheless, at the time we issue a certificate of occupancy, they are ready for habitation.
Any other questions or comments?
Thank you, Kevin.
May I have a motion to approve resolution number 6940?
Commissioner Calderon, so move.
We have a motion by Mr. Calderon. May I have a second?
Commissioner Girth, yes, second it.
We have a second by Commissioner Girth. I will call again for a roll call vote. Commissioner Newman, District 1, how do you vote?
Commissioner Newman, yes.
Commissioner Mills, District 2, how do you vote?
Commissioner Mills, yes.
Commissioner Fields, District 3, how do you vote?
Commissioner Fields, I vote yes.
Commissioner Calderon, District 4, how do you vote?
Commissioner Calderon, yes.
Commissioner Pinnick, District 5, how do you vote?
Commissioner Pinnick, I vote yes.
And Commissioner Girth, District 6, how do you vote?
Commissioner Girth votes yes.
That concludes the action items for this evening. Our next meeting date, Monday, June the 1st, 2020 at 6 p.m.
Mayor,
That,
if I may, Mayor, just for purposes of the record, I don't believe we logged your vote for the last item.
Thank you, Ephraim.
thank you, thank you, Ephraim. And I vote yes, Ms. Leslie.
Thank you.
Excuse me for that, for the oversight. Okay, Mr. Gomez, did you enjoy Mr. Cortez straightening me out over there? You're grinning.
I did. Thank you, Ephraim.
You have the floor, Mr. Gomez.
Thank you, Mayor Commission, and I just want to share
for just a second. I'll be back. I have a call from the governor. I'm going to step out of the camera, then I'll be back.
You may continue.
Okay, thank
You
you.
may continue.
Okay. What I want to share with you this evening, to you, the commission, and our general public, is that for the last several weeks, up to a month, there was a 9-member committee that was created internally of city employees, titled the Reopen Committee. And first and foremost, I would be remiss did not first thank their work in creating our City of Hobbs Reopen Plan. So they've done some amazing work, and greatly appreciate what they've done. So they've completed this Reopen Plan based on prior public health orders and with the most recent public health order that came out on Friday. You can access our Reopen Plan on our website on the hobbsnm.org/update. Again, this is the City of Hobbs Reopen Plan. Does not apply to any private businesses or other organizations. This is for the City of Hobbs as an organization. So I'd like to share with you, just going through some of those, is that one thing that as a city government and providing public service is that the preparation of this gradual reopening of the local economy, we still provide those services and support the private entities, such as the occupant loads and assisting local business. So our Hobbs Fire Prevention Bureau has been out in many businesses throughout town to help them with that occupant load. That occupant load is not based on just gross square footage, but more so about the usage of that occupancy. What is the occupancy classification? For example, if we're going to do a house of worship, with pews, we use a 30 square foot per person. Okay, so in a restaurant, it will be different, and it just varies. So we want to ensure that our general public and those business owners get the appropriate square footage based on the percentage set forth by the governor's order. The City of Hobbs will continue, obviously, to provide senior center members, both home delivered and grab and go meals. And I know today they had asado, beans, and rice serving. So for those that are eligible, I'm sorry you missed that, but they always provide good meals. Also, our employees and your employees will continue, and we've requested for them to comply with the COVID safe practices. And that's the norm. At the City of Hobbs, we've implemented many administrative, engineering, and safe practice controls, such as the shields that you see at the clerk's office and other facilities, the utilization of good hygiene practices, hand washing, so on and so forth. So we will continue that as well. Moving on to just to kind of touch a few, the reopen plan, and the reason for that is that we are seeking to utilize a phased approach in reopening the city service. Obviously, we believe that it's good because it's consistent and will largely follow the timelines that are outlined by the state of New Mexico's plan to reopen the state. The phased approach will be based on current data and readiness, and will be aimed at the mitigation of risk of resurgence of COVID-19. So, and most important is to provide protection to the most vulnerable population in Hobbs is definitely paramount. So as moving forward, we have a different phase. We currently are on phase 1, which began today and will end based on what we know today till May 31, 2020. So again, the city services that are previously available or all designated essential services will continue at full staffing levels. The city parks, we never closed. They remain open. The Rockland Community Links to open for golf only. There's no dine-in, food service, or retail at this point. The Hobbs Animal Adoption Center continues to provide that curbside, and now we'll follow the same guidelines. The Hobbs Municipal Court open as well. And then there's restrictions on their occupant load as well, keeping within the 25% as well. City services that are being added. The city offices, City Hall, we're essential. We've never closed our offices. However, we reduce a work day. We're reinstating the Friday. We will open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. All other city services, excluding recreation, will begin operating at the 25% staffing levels. MBD is open by appointment only, and Rockland Community Links, some modification, now the 25% fire code occupancy, and now the driving range is open, okay? Library as well, using the 25% and the staffing as well. So these are just to name a few of our reopening with the City of Hobbs. Again, you can access this on our website. And again, the focus is not affecting private businesses. This is for the city-owned facilities. And I will be answer any questions if you may have.
Mr. Newman, District 1.
Commissioner Newman, no, sir, thank you.
Commissioner Mills, District 2.
Today I had lunch in one of our wonderful city parks. I thought the picnic tables and the trash and the grass and everything was in really good shape. So I know that the Parks and Rec are out there working hard still, even through all this, keeping our facilities grand. I'd also like to kind of comment. I've been getting about the seniors and the graduation. Saw the city workers out hanging the signs today, and I was really proud that the city took the steps to honor these kids. This COVID deal was something no one could ever imagine, and your heart reaches out to these kids and their families to kind of miss this rite of passage, which has always been so important in our city. The graduation ceremony and the moving on to adulthood and college, and we really feel for the kids that kind of miss that aspect. Not to mention and all these things as well, but we always think of graduation as such an important milestone in life, and I was happy to see the city work to accommodate this strange situation. We'd asked everybody. I get a lot of questions about things, and I think if we all treat each other as respect other people's opinions and then work hard to come together and get through this, I think we'll all be better off. So with that, thank you all very much.
Commissioner Fields, District 3.
No comment. Thank you.
Commissioner Calderon, District 4.
Couple of things that I've got. I can't understand why people have a problem wearing a mask. I wear a mask everywhere. I rarely go out, but when I go to like Albertsons, whatever, pick up a prescription, and I guess people don't care. I come home, wash the mask, let it dry. I have several that I wear, but I know it's hard for some people, and we've been blessed. My wife and I have been blessed. But other than that, I guess people are hard heads. They just, I don't know, they don't care. On a positive note, Mama had two white, I'm a grandfather again. Two white, no, Mama cat. She had two white little kittens and three black, white, mostly black. So it's a dilemma. My wife wants to keep them. But last time we took a brood and we got to catch Mama cat. And and get her fixed. And I'm working on that one, but this time it's going to be easier with these kittens to be adopted because we're picking them up. We talk to them, whatever, feed them milk, feed them canned food, whatever. And like I said, my goodness, I have already 5 or 6 cats, but to keep the mice away. And so I never liked cats, but they are cute, so we love them now. That's all I got.
Excuse me, Mayor. Excuse me, Mayor, can I?
Yes.
Yes, I was speaking. I do want to make a comment. You know, being a former employee for the city of Hobbs, and I just want to commend those employees that was awarded for the 5 years. Gary Hensley there in traffic department, and Bill Griffin there in the wastewater treatment plant. You know, I do understand all that it takes in order for Hobbs to function, and sometimes those employees is out there on the front line, they don't get the recognition or they feel unappreciated. But you know, for them gentlemen to accomplish 5 years and 10 years of service, that means a lot. And to let them be recognized, that means a lot. So I just want to mention that. And I just want to also mention acting city manager Manny Gomez. He's really been very helpful in terms of some of the requests that I have been bringing before him. I just want to make it known publicly that I appreciate you. And I think you understand my passion in terms of what I like to accomplish there in District 3. So I want to say thank you, Mr. Gomez.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Commissioner Pinnock, District 5.
Yes, I have a few things. I'd like to thank our EMS staff and our medical staff in Hobbs and all across the United States for the hard work they do to keep us safe, to protect those who are sick, and to put themselves in harm's way, and all of our first responders as well. I'd like to thank the city employees for their hard work. They are the backbone of the city, for all the hard work you do, going above and beyond by putting these pictures out for these kids and recognizing these kids in the graduation class. I think that's just really going above and beyond. That's outstanding and much, much appreciated. I'd also like to thank the Hobbs Chamber of Commerce and the Hispano Chamber as well for all you do. All the events that the Hispano Chamber puts on is just, to me, it's just outstanding. It brings the community together. It shows love and compassion for each other. I would like to see more of that in the upcoming year. I think a citywide picnic would be outstanding to bring the city back together after all this has passed us. And I'd also like to especially thank Toby Spears and his team and staff. Without their guidance on this financial crisis that we're going through, we would probably be in a much, much worse position than we are. And through their hard work and intelligence and making cuts, and with the city manager as well, and making these decisions, you guys are really impressed me and all your hard work to pull us out in the way we are on this. I want to reopen the city. I think every business is essential, not just some, not just a big box store. I think every business is essential. It's essential to feed our families and to progress. There's a lot of businesses that are hurting, a lot of individuals that are hurting. I've had many phone calls from people who can't even pay their rent, have not even received stimulus packages, or 4 and 5 weeks and no unemployment checks. It's time to reopen. We can do it safely as a city, wear masks or whatever we need to do this safely. But it's time to put our people back to work. And this should never happen again in the United States, in my opinion. Thank you for listening. I appreciate all the commissioners that are here and the mayor as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pinnock. Mr. Girth, District 6.
Commissioner Girth, no comment.
Okay. I want all of you to know, the council of mayors that I was privileged to be appointed to, we have been working on a daily basis. I just got a call from the governor's office during this meeting. We are encouraging her that the importance of our business community, not only the essential businesses that are currently open, but the ones that are not. We want them to get back open. We understand how important it is for all of these businesses to get back open. And I have given her my personal commitment And I know that our leadership in our community, we are ready to work on helping to reopen these businesses, do it in a safe manner that follows good COVID safe practices. So I will continue to advocate for the businesses in this area. There's a coalition of mayors throughout southeastern New Mexico that we're meeting on a regular basis. We are working with our legislators. We're working with the governor's office. We're doing everything we can to try to accelerate the opening of our businesses. So I know many people in this area don't necessarily agree with Governor Grisham and some of her politics, but I know she does care about the health and safety of our citizens. So those things we can agree on. And so what those things that we can agree on, we're trying to find that common ground so that we can get our businesses back open. And at the same time, ask that there's a mutual respect between the business operators and the patrons to try to ensure that we don't get another spike in some of the cases in the region. So I'll continue to work on that. Hopefully, we hope we'll have some good news before the end of this week. We're working on it on an hourly basis. So with that, I will call for a roll call for a adjournment this evening. Commissioner Newman, District 1.
I vote yes.
Commissioner Mills, District 2.
I vote yes.
Commissioner Fields, District 3.
I vote yes.
Commissioner Calderon, District 4.
Mr. Calderon, yes.
Commissioner Pinnock, District 5.
Commissioner Pinnock, I vote yes.
And Commissioner Girth, District 6.
Commissioner Girth votes yes.
And I vote yes. The meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
See you guys.
Everybody.